Little follow-up here on the Nadu banning. So you'll see here, they say literally straight off the line, Nadu was a design mistake. Why was it a design mistake? Turns out it was a card in a modern set that was designed purely to be played in Commander, that Commander players who were advising them had a little freak out about, and they then changed the card last minute and didn't get to playtest it. So you must think, wow, it must be, for it to be so broken that Commander players fully revolted against it. We've got to see what it is. Well, this is it here. Same stats, same line, just gave things flash. Had the same ability, but keynote difference. It only triggered if opponents targeted your stuff. And it gave other permanent spells flash. And people were like, oh man, this would be so toxic. And that's what led to the last minute change that ultimately broke Modern in half and ruined an RCQ season. Why am I highlighting this? Well, for starters, it's because I think this version would have been better. And I think it would have been totally fine with Commander. And I'm sure that people are like, oh my god, a value Simic Commander, blah, 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 don't want to deal with it. But what I ultimately want to address here is, it's the paradox of Commander. And it's something that I want someone to please answer for me. So, what is the paradox of Commander? It's how Commander is simultaneously a self-regulating, zero-rule, decide-your-own playgroup format that is having an insane amount of regulation and control put on it. Examples I'll give here, we've got the Nadu one, obviously the big change. But others, examples just to point this out here are, I remember when Commander Legends was being previewed, the Command Zone went on a huge 5-minute thing when Jewel Lotus was revealed, saying that they begged them not to print this card. They didn't want this card in the format. It wouldn't do anything good in the format. And I remember at that time thinking, but we self-regulate. We power down decks. How many decks have you powered down, taken out tutors to remove consistency, or just put in different pet cards for fun? Or just literally moved a deck aside because you're just like, yeah, it's really powerful, this Vanifar deck, but it just does one thing and I'm bored. I'm going to play a different one. That's the self-regulation of the format. But at the same time, you have advisory committees, rule committees, saying that cards like Iona have to be banned because they're such a negative experience on the game and to prevent players from playing. But Winter Orb is totally fine because if you don't want to play with stacks, you can rule zero it and discuss it with your group. But we've got to ban Iona because we need to show that it needs to be banned. Another example was during an interview, I remember one of the keg being asked, could we change the potential rules of Commander's existence to allow for any deck size, so somebody could play a Battle of Wits deck for a meme? And them going, no, we're not going to change the rules, you can rule zero it. Which I was like, I suppose, yeah, in paper you could, you can't do it online, but that's a different discussion. So that's the ultimate thing here, and this is one of the first instances I've seen where Wizards and the design team capitulated to the regulation of EDH, broken a different format for a card which probably isn't that heinous. Because if you think this card is going to be that heinous, look, how is that any worse than playing against a Seedborn Muse Yavala, the mono green flash deck? Yeah, those things suck. Yeah, they're powerful. But again, that's the ultimate question of the paradox. Is Commander self-regulating or not? I think it is both at the moment, and it is really annoying to me. Because genuinely, I don't think we need that level of regulation from the other side. I think if Wizards had just printed this and gone with it, being like, yeah, there'll be a bit of an outcry, you'd have CDH players make a Nadu deck. I don't think it would have been good enough for CDH, if I'm honest. The current one is because it's busted, because they screwed it up. But then I think we would have had the self-regulation that we have in groups, where people would be like, oh, you're playing your Nadu deck. Well, I'm going to play my super fast burn deck because I'm not dealing with that. Or I'm going to play my mono red, you can't cast spells outside your turn or you sack your lands deck. Those are just some examples. I was trying to come up with things that would hate on people casting spells on other ones of their turns. Or, yeah. But that's the ultimate question of this. Somebody please answer me the paradox of Commander. Are we self-regulating or are we not? Or do we need to choose a different one or the other? Let me know your thoughts on the EDH paradox.